Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the third episode of the Dan Dawson Show today. So, here's what's wrong with our country. We're being ran by spoiled kids, or at least trying to be run by spoiled kids, who've never been told no. You see, they don't know. They've never been told their actions are wrong, so they feel free to do whatever. Let Dan explain. See, an article came out today in Law Enforcement Today, and you have to really start reading these these smaller offsite news places, right? Such as Law Enforcement Today, because they give you news you're not going to find on CNN. Don Lemon's not going to report it. Well, you know. Anyway, so it says Pennsylvania Democrat claims NYPD officers were attacking protesters before she spit in a sergeant's face. And this was written by James E. Lewis, dated November 6, 2020, which is today. New York City, New York. Davina Singh of Shesquansville, Pennsylvania, sounds rich, in the heart of very blue Montgomery County, northwest of Philadelphia, was arrested after spitting in the face of a New York Police Department sergeant. She's not worried about it because her rich parents are going to bail her out of jail because they're stupid. Remember when I said, if you reward every bad thing your kids do, you're going to have to pay a lawyer to defend them like you've been defending them. Eventually. It always happens. See? Because it goes back to hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. I got a little mixed up there, but forgive me, please. She claims that officers were attacking people before her spitting incident. This wasn't Singh's first trip to New York and not her first protest there. In an interview after being reached by phone, she expressed her anger. She explained that she'd just been released from the hospital after her arrest. She was in a pivotal role during protests primarily involving anti-police protesters who a left-wing mob chanted, "Burn the precinct to the ground." What is wrong with you people and the way you're raising your kids? I'm telling you, it's not going to end good. I'm telling you, I'm halfway through this, or not even halfway, I'm just a couple of paragraphs through this article. But I was thinking, these protests are going to die down. But no, I don't know. I really don't know. Let me continue on with the article. She claimed that she only spit in the officer's face after she witnessed police assaulting members of the crowd. Quote, "They hit us with their bikes repeatedly and started attacking people." The New York Post showed a slightly different story. She was standing in front of a line of officers, shouting insults and death wishes, finally screaming, "Fuck you, fascists," then spit in a police sergeant's face. She was immediately arrested and charged with obstruction of governmental administration, violation of local law, and harassment. She should have been charged with terrorism. Domestic terrorism. Yeah, that's what you're doing there, Miss Singh. Singh is known to the NYPD since she was arrested in September during a protest and in Manhattan during immigration and ICE customs enforcement, or against ICE. And I've actually had a couple of Facebook friends who were doing the same crap back then, and I just defriended them. You're ignorant. You have no idea what's going on with that border. But you'll show up at ICE facilities that are housing the worst of the worst: murderers, rapists, gang members, drug dealers, and you want it shut down because you live in your nice lily white neighborhoods. And when I say lily white, that's not it's just a term. I know a lot of white people who don't live behind gates. I know a lot of white people who live in worse communities than I do. Like I said, I live in a very rich community, so. But it's ridiculous because you don't know what you're protesting. Jump in your car, drive down to Texas. Drive down to McAllen, Texas. Go look at that border. You take a week. Look at that border. Go to El Paso. Look across that border. You see what's there. Let me finish with this article. I'm sorry. I get off track because this gets me so fired up. She was also arrested later that month in a similar protest in Brooklyn. Singh allegedly jumped on the back of an officer making an arrest during a protest at Washington Square Park after the announcement of the indictment of the cop who killed Breonna Taylor in Louisville. She said in an interview about her arrest, quote, "It just seems like it is impossible to deny there is genocide being sanctioned by the state against black and brown bodies in a systemic fashion. We got to stop it now before it gets worse and fascism and ethnic cleansing are allowed to go unchecked." In a since deleted Instagram photo, she bristled over her arrest and assaulted one of the arresting authorities. Quote, "I'm so effing mad, perhaps because behind me, white shirt, is Deputy Inspector Elias J. Nicholas, aka Little Dick Nick." Her other comments on social media outlined her deep-seated anger towards police and ICE. "I had 4 officers on my back, pinning me to the ground. I was forced to watch while I was pinned as they beat the kid next to me into the pavement. Take it to the streets and F the police. No justice, no peace." Singh obviously believes that property has no real value. Her statement on the subject, quote, "Property has no feeling we value outside of what we assign it. No value outside of what we assign it. The outrage over theft of clothing from Saks Fifth Avenue, the violent sentences being levied against people who cause no human harm, while we allow white people and those in power to continue to demonize and brutalize black and brown folks. If you're still running these lines, stop." End quote. Singh's now deleted Facebook profile says she attended New York University and studied global public health and social work and worked as an intern for Congressman Jerry Nadler as we know him, for 5 months from 2018 to 2019. From her posting, she evidently doesn't like white people, especially white Republicans, although she interned for Jerry Nadler. Interesting. Quote, "As a whole, I really don't like white people," end quote. Her rants against Republican included Senator Rand Paul being attacked by protesters outside the Republican National Convention. Quote, "Republicans are by title little bitches. That's their party platform. I didn't make the rules," end quote. That's funny. You were the one complaining just a few minutes ago that you got roughed up. Oh, it's so horrible, right? Oh my God. Who's the little bitch now, Singh? On the night Singh was most recently arrested, she was among 57 people apprehended in New York. 34 men and 23 women were arrested, where at least one demonstrator was arraigned, and 24 were given desk appearance tickets. 32 were given criminal court summons. Though I'm in federal prison, you won't have that problem, right? Hey, you're going to federal prison. There's no bail. You're not getting out. We're going to lock you down. Back to the article. Several fires were started in Greenwich Village. An NYPD chief of Department Terrence Monahan's official vehicle was pelted with eggs. 23-year-old Rachel Bernard of Brooklyn punched Assistant Chief Stephen Hughes in the face and was arrested on charges of assaulting a police officer. Hughes is the commander of Patrol Borough Manhattan South. So you see what we got going on here, ladies and gentlemen? The loving left, the forgiving left. See, they've unleashed their horrible kids upon you. These kids have never been told no. They've never been disciplined. And they think they can do whatever they want to do. But some Americans I know don't roll like that. Don't roll like that. You're punching grown men in the face. This is a police chief, so I imagine he has some fighting skills. I imagine if he had come off the hook and just decided to flat out lay you on the ground, there's nothing you could have done. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So, all I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, is this is not what I thought it would be. The left is not slowing down. They're only getting worse. They're letting their kids get out of control. It's time to institute some discipline, far left. I don't know where this is going to go in the next few months, not even a year or two, the next few months. But I know this, it's not going to be pretty. So keep your head on your shoulders. Make sure you know what's going on around you. Because these people have lost their damn minds. So, whew, it's ridiculous out there. But anyway, thank you for watching this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the likes, all the comments. I know I don't always have time to respond to all the comments, but that's okay. I'm running 3 different, things. I'm trying to, I got a lot of stuff going on. But I always try to at least put a love button or something on there. But thank you for watching this episode. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Do what you got to do.